Kia ora. As we head through the rest of this week, we're back into southwesterlies, bringing cold air and the return of some snowfall back across us. You can see on the charts here this band of cloud clearing away towards the north. Still a few showers over Wellington to start the morning, but things are going to get better here as we go through the next few days though. More activity coming up from the far south brings with it that cold air, and you can see the return of those white spots over the higher ground. We've got some snowfall to come as well, and that snow level will drop down as we head in towards Wednesday, and there are some severe weather watches and warnings for that snow as we go through in towards Wednesday afternoon and through towards Thursday. But for the rest of today, you can see things are slowly improving down on South Island, but we've still got a few showers across those central parts of the North Island. One of the main things I think for us overnight tonight will be where we get those clearer skies. The temperature can really drop away quite quickly. So it will be a cold and, for some of us, a frosty night, especially up on the North Island in those places like, say, Taupo or Rotorua, where the temperature can really drop away. But even down the South Island, we've got cold air. And you can see as we start the morning, we've got this next band of wet weather pushing up from the south with a real wintry feel to it as well. But those temperatures will be cold pretty much across the country. Take a look at those temperatures. Even up in the north there, we've got temperatures back down to about 3 degrees Celsius for the likes of, say, Tauranga, 0 degrees Celsius there for Taupo, even down towards Wellington. We're looking at about 3 degrees Celsius, cooler still up into towards places like the Hutt Valley and across in towards Wairarapa. For the south side, again, temperatures widely down below freezing across those more central parts. We get those clear skies and lighter winds, but a cold and frosty morning for pretty much most of us as we start the day tomorrow. As we head through Wednesday, you can see this front moves northwards, bringing that wet weather northwards, bringing with it some snowfall as well, down through parts of Southland and Otago to start with, feeding up in towards Canterbury, and some fairly heavy falls of snow north of about Arthur's Pass, so those inland parts of Canterbury, about 300 metres we're talking here. You can find some fairly heavy falls of snow as we go through the afternoon on Wednesday. Places like inland Marlborough and up in towards the Nelson Ranges, some heavy snowfall warnings for you as well. On the North Island, we start off dry, but you can see by the end of the day, those showers feed in towards the west and some wetter weather arriving later on. Best spot to be if you're looking for drier weather, out towards that Gisborne, Tairafti. But even here, I think it will be a cold morning. As I said, though, we have got some snowfall warnings and watches in place. The heaviest snowfall north of Arthur's Pass, and again, we're looking at heights of around about 300 metres or higher, but we could find some snowfall down to around about 100 metres or so in that orange area. So I think we are going to find a bit of a wintry feel as we head through the end of the day Wednesday in towards the early hours of Thursday morning there. We've also got watches up through Buller, parts of the Nelson region, also down through the rest of the inland areas of Canterbury, again above about 300, 400 metres catching that snowfall, and down south of about 200 metres, but a real wintry feel to the weather. And that that watch for the southern parts from the early hours of the morning through to the afternoon of Wednesday. But let's have a look at the North Island. Only a few areas to watch out for in terms of snowfall there, places like Desert Road and towards, say, the Rimutakas Valley later in the day. We start off with dry, clear, frosty conditions through the Bay of Plenty and down the eastern side. We are going to find that cloud thickening up through the daytime, some showers pushing in towards the west. And as we go through towards the end of the day, could find some wintry showers back towards places like the Desert Road. So keep an eye on the road snowfall warnings through there as well. You might find a little bit of snowfall about the tops of the Tauranga Range down in the far southern parts of the North Island as well. But you can see by the end of the day, as we head through the night time, wetter weather pushing back on towards that western coast, some showers even in towards, say, Auckland and down towards Taranaki. One or two of those perhaps on the heavier side around that western coast. And we are going to look at dry weather out towards the east, but even here we'll find that cloud thickening up later on. Here are our temperatures as we go through the daytime. Highs of 10 degrees Celsius there down towards Wellington, up in towards Taupo. Not much better up towards Auckland though, 14 degrees Celsius. Overnight temperatures and still on the cold side, back down to about 2 degrees Celsius, but not quite as cold as we'll see in those early hours of Wednesday morning. Now for the South Island, you can see as we go through the daytime, this wet weather moves northwards, still turning to snow above about 200 metres down the far south, but places like Invercargill might find a bit of sleety weather in those showers that feed through you through the daytime. Though rain and showers moves northwards up through Canterbury, and again with those heavier falls north of Arthur's Pass for that snowfall. It is worth bearing in mind if you'd plan to do those higher passes crossings as we go through the next couple of nights. Do keep an eye on those forecasts. We could find some fairly substantial amounts of snowfall up about the likes of, say, those inland parts of Canterbury, perhaps 20 or 30 centimetres of snow above about 300 metres. So well worth keeping up to date with the forecast, but you can see that snow is moving northwards as we head through the daytime. And behind it, we've got some of that cold air back with us as well. So temperatures back down to about -4 degrees Celsius for Queenstown, while up north, we're still looking at temperatures perhaps around about 3 degrees Celsius for the night time, overnight Wednesday into Thursday for Nelson. How are things looking as we go through towards, well, Thursday? The low pressure that's bringing this activity is still with us to start the day on Thursday. It pulls away out towards the east. It takes its time. It takes those showers to clear across the north line. Again, you can see we've still got some wintry weather around the desert road and down towards the likes of, say, the Rimutakas. So still a bit of a cold feel there. This low will gradually pull away. But down towards the south, it's an improving story. With the high pressure beginning to build across, things generally become a little bit more settled. We'll keep hold of some of those cold temperatures, but things generally drier as we head through Thursday for the South Island. That's it from me. It's from metservice.com.